Hello, my star seeds. Excuse me, I got a frog in my throat. Anyway, this should be part one. So, we'll get to it really quick. I'm going to try to finish it all in one sitting, but if I can't, then there'll be a part two. So, let's start with this. Let me see. I have such a small space here, and I'm hoping that the electronics will work for me. You know what I mean? So, so let's get this going. Now, with the runes, normally, this is the scarf for the runes. Normally, when they're casted, they're all shaken and casted. They are read as ups when they're upright. So whichever ones come upright, those are the ones that are read. And normally, it's read from the right to the left. Not like the tarot that's read from the right to the left. Even though sometimes playing around, I do read the tarot from the right to the left. It does have a totally, to me, a totally different reading. But anyway, these are usually read when they fall, as they fall upright. That's how they're read. If they fall with the blank, they're not picked up. Okay. So that's how these are read. Now, let's start from the beginning here so that we can get things a little rolling. So that I hope that some of you did read the description on the little so-called ASMR that I put out so that you can understand and be on the same page. Okay? But these are Viking runes. Okay. And I'm just to recap a little bit. Again, I'm letting you guys know that this is a runes little series for you to learn what it's all about. I did write my little notes. I condensed them so that I won't have too much to say. But anyway, as I said, let's start off with my, as I put it down, I did tidbits of information from it. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to say I may be repeating myself on some things just to be on the same page. Again, runes are not for predictions or divinations. Runes are healing and do not harm, okay? They speak to you. They communicate with our subconscious minds. They sort of mirror your self-conscious process. So when you consult an oracle, like the oracles that I listed on the ASMR video, you're placed in true present time, and believe it or not, for some people, it is very difficult to face the true present time. It's very difficult for them to face that. Some people can take it because they already know more or less, you know, what's coming. But many can't face the truth, as you know. You yourself, I myself sometimes can't face the truth, okay? Because it depends what kind of a truth it is. So, I'm just letting you know. Some people just cannot take it. With the runes, everything happens at the moment. So keep that in mind. And there's also a reminder that you're actually consulting an oracle. Okay? This is not fortune telling. Oracles do not tell you what's next, and they do not predict the future events. Runes speak to you mainly of change and growth in the now, not yesterday or tomorrow. And they usually point out to all your hidden fears that you may have, and motivations that shape your future. Because, you know, when you face your fears head on, Right after that, it's like a windfall. You no longer have that fear, so that you can face things positively. So get all those negativities out of your head. Okay? Now, runes direct your attention towards the what I would call the inner choices, and also helps you develop your wisdom. And if you already have or think that you have some kind of wisdom, it sort of like structures it or molds it to the point where you can use it, and when you're right, you're right. Okay? Now, the last rune masters lived in the 17th century Iceland. So runes are older than the New Testament, and serves as the I Ching of the Vikings. If you're not familiar with I Ching, please look it up, because it's very, very interesting. And many years later, and still do at this time, they do not a comparison, but to see what both I Ching, because I Ching deals with changes, what I Ching and the runes have to say, and most of the time, it's almost the same. They will tell you almost the same thing, or will lead you into the same issue. Because again, I'm going to say this because I just remembered, runes deal with issues, okay, not with questions, but with issues. All right. And then the first glyphs were called runes, from the Gothic runa, meaning a secret thing, a mystery. And to me, the runes, I've gained a lot of respect for them, but I mean, the runes to me are mystical. They're just mystical. When you start dealing with them, or holding them, or handing them, you start getting that, it's a strange feeling. It's almost it's like an energy that's trying to communicate. But again, the runes communicate subconsciously. Now, in the traditional Germanic Futhark, there are 24 runes, okay? And they were normally divided, and still are to this day, into 3 what they call families. 3 families of 8 runes. That's how they're usually read or casted. I had to correct myself. That number, the 3 and the 8, the 3 families and the 8 runes, they're credited with a potency, a magical potency, the numbers. And later on, the blank rune was added to the group, and to me, for good reason. See, the blank rune is the path of karma, meaning that it's predestined. It cannot be avoided at all. It's also known as the rune of unknown. So let me see if I could have it here. Here it is. So this is the rune of unknown, also known as the path of karma. Again, predestined. Okay, it's just if it comes in your casting, it is followed by the issue that cannot be avoided. Okay, and keep in mind that if it's something that you cannot avoid, it's because in the past you have been avoiding it. It's something that you've been avoiding, something you didn't want to deal with. So, because this deals with your fears. Now, runes were used to influence the weather, the tides, the crops, love, healing. Also, runes of fertility were used. They were used for cursing and removing curses, as well as birth and death. Runes were carved on amulets, as well as drinking cups, battle spears. Also over the lintels of the dwellings, and onto the prows of the Viking ships. So you can just see by my saying this or listing this how not overpowering, but how powerful this magical casting was and still is, except not many use it. And when they do use it, they don't practice it the way it's supposed to be practiced. But that's okay, because you're going to realize, as you see others using the runes, that everyone has their own style or method of using the runes. Okay? So, just letting you know. I'm sure that you get the concept of the power that the runes can have. Okay? Now, let me explain something else, which is just bringing it up. Because we can keep going forward. And I think I'm going to be able to do this in one sitting, hopefully. Now, 16 of the runes can be read upright, as in this way. Okay? And or reversed. It is advisable that when you do get involved with the runes, try to read both, because both positive and negative information or energies enter everyone, whether it's physically, mentally, or environmentally. It's there. So it's really recommended that you read both, on both. So, like I said, 16 of them can be read on both sides. The others are read in the same matter, no matter how they're drawn. You know, like this one here. So that could be drawn, and it doesn't matter which way you put it, it's going to be the same. Okay? And I hope that, right now I was just thinking, I hope that the lighting and everything is okay, because, I've had a hard time here. Had a hard time over here, shit. Now, I want you to know that there's evidence from readings, and I'm going to read something to you. There's evidence that a good amount of the rune shamans that practice the runes were women. Now, this information can be found in an old book by the name of Saga of Eric the Red. It was actually written by an anonymous author. And what I'm going to read to you, I want you to take a moment and envision the scene that this individual witnessed. Just envision the scene, okay? So I'm going according to my notes, because I don't want to trail off, you know what I'm saying? Oh, because things happen. So let me get to what I need to read. Excuse me. Excuse me. Now, it's very, very fascinating. And if you ever get a chance to check on the Odin gift, which is also very exciting. There's an exciting story behind it, and it deals with just one rune, just one. As you take it out, you know, you take their bag, I'm going to say shuffle, but you work them out, and then you take just one, and that is considered the Odin gift. which you could do on a daily basis or once a week. It's good to do it on a daily basis for like 5 days going, or 7 days straight, which is highly recommended, really. And so here we go. Okay, so envision this. Let me clear my throat here, excuse me. It says, she wore a cloak set with stones along the hem. Around her neck and covering her head, she wore a hood lined with white cat skins. In one hand, she carried a staff with a knob on the end, and at her belt, holding together her long dress, hung a charm pouch. Okay? Envision that. And then I'm going to give you a little info on what was done during that time. Twigs and stones served for runic divination, since as natural objects they embodied sacred powers. Runic symbols were carved into pieces of hardwood, incised on metal, or cut into leather, that was then stained with pigment into which human blood was sometimes mixed to enhance the potency of the spell. The most common runes were smooth, flat pebbles with symbols or glyphs painted on one side. The rune mistress would shake her pouch and scatter the pebbles on the ground. Those falling with glyphs upward were then interpreted. So I hope you did envision that, only because when I first read it, I really envisioned it, and I envisioned this woman in a winter a winter setting in a forest. But it was enlightening. There's no witchcraft with this. There's nothing like that. So please don't get any of those ideas. The runes are harmful. Harmless. Excuse me. They're harmless, as I said before. Okay. They're healing, actually. They're healing runes. They're not harmful. And like I said, that the energy that they pick up is your energy. And if it's done on a one-on-one, it's even better, because it could be casted and your energy is right on it. Your hands are right on it. I like to wear gloves, which I will be wearing gloves when I do start doing the signs, starting with Sagittarius, because I do not want my energy on casting the runes. Okay, I don't want my energy to transfer on them, so I will be wearing gloves. It will be either the plastic, my little working gloves, or my cotton gloves, but I will not be directly dealing with them. I'm going to sage them before I do anything, so that they're clear, and I could just go ahead and relate those messages to you. Okay. Now, let me see. Hey, I might get this done in one sitting. Guys, this is really great. And I did that. Okay. Now, reminding you that each of us is an oracle. Okay. And when we pray, we consult the knowing self. Remember, the knowing self. Okay. The knowing self within. The runes, being an oracle, they connect with your inner guidance. Okay? I always think of solar plexus when it's the inner guidance, because your soul is a little tiny thing, but it glows like it could turn a small city. It could turn their electricity on. That's how powerful. That's how much electricity we have in our body, and it draws those strong energies that we have within. Okay, but you need to seek it. So many of you do not I'm not going to say so many of you, I mean a lot of people do not seek that energy. And it's time, really. 2020 is coming around. It's time that we do that we take some time for ourselves. Sit silently and let that silently endure for the time that we sit there, whether it's 20 minutes, a half hour, or 45 minutes, but letting that silence so that your inner self can come out. You can discover new things. Think about new things. What is that thing that I was going to say about, when you make plans and you want to make a creation and you want to make it, you want to manifest it. And so in order to go through all of those little levels, you need to have inner self, discovery. And the only way you could do that is by having silence. Okay? Just bringing that up. And as you do your own research, guys, because do your own research on runes if you are going to have an interest in it or want to get into it, because it is a mystical oracle. I'm going to repeat, you'll discover that many practitioners develop their own form or style of rune casting. Okay, I want to do what should be done with these at this time. Of course, later on, I'll develop my own, not system, but the casting itself. But I want to do it as it's supposed to be, so that it could be straight on. I want it to be a truthful kind of thing at this beginning. That I just I don't know. That's how I feel. That's how it's making me feel. That it should be done that way, and not just cast and pop up runes. Okay, so this is what I want to do, and we're going to be practicing. Our first practice will be with Sagittarius. Okay, and so I just want to remind you that even though this might be done right now, but if I'm not finished with this now, then we'll have the second video. But I'm going to try to finish it up with this sitting, which is going to be so great, marvelous. But if there are other videos following, our next set of videos will begin the rune casting for each sign. And again, like I said, Sagittarius will be first. Okay, Sagi. I want to remind all of you, that we're living in a chaotic time. We're chaotic times, actually, because it has been occurring for quite some time, and many are awakening. But we're forgetting that we're here to love everything with an open heart on this planet. Therefore, I found it fitting to end this particular chapter with a great invocation by Alice Bailey. And before that, I wanted to tell you two individuals that said something that meant so much. I mean, sometimes people can say very little, and the little that they say, it expands to so much when you start thinking about it. Okay, so this is what Si Jung said: "Nothing is too insignificant." So when you have a reading or a casting, and it's directed to you, because remember, when there's a reading and it's not done face to face, it will resonate with some, but not with all, as in the videos. Okay, so if it does, and it's for you, those little tiny things that are said to you even though they may not mean anything, pay attention. Just pay attention, be aware of what is being said by anyone, whether it's someone reading for you, casting, or someone that's with you. Those little things can turn out to mean a lot. And then the other words by Ralph Blum. And he said, remind yourself by stating, in the spiritual life, I am always at the beginning. Listen carefully. In the spiritual life, I am, or you are always at the beginning. When you remind yourself of that, that itself will stop you or help you overcome any type of addiction of getting ahead. You know how many people want to get ahead real quick? They don't want to wait. They're impatient. They think that if they do this right then and there, that's going to work. And then all of a sudden they find that it didn't work. Okay, but getting ahead of yourself with everything. So instead of getting ahead of yourself with everything, when you think that you're going to have that impulse, you tell yourself, in the spiritual life, I am always at the beginning. Okay? So let me read to you the invocation by Alice Bailey, which is, I think, beautiful as an ending to this chapter for the runes. And let me see, though, what was the page here so I could read it for you. I'm glad I condensed it all. I didn't think I was going to get it all done at one time, but I did get it done. I hope it didn't take too long. And here we go. It's called The Great Invocation. Please pay attention to it, because it actually, even though this was written a long time ago, it relates to today. Okay? It does relate to today. And she wrote on the Great Invocation, from the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let the purpose guide the little wills of men. The purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out. And may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. If you have to listen to that a few times, do so, because I had to read it a few times. And it did bring an emotion to me because of what is going around in the world. And it's time that we need all to get together, unite. Excuse me one moment. Let me get some water. It's time that we go within, my little star seeds. Go within. Be kind to others and please forgive. It's time to forgive others. Okay? You know, once you forgive, let it go. Just let it go. Think of other things. Twist it around and think of a positive thing. Think of what you're blessed with. Don't think of what you lack. Okay? The more you think about what you lack, the more you will lack. So think of positive things, and bring that positivity to others. Teach others that positivity. But it has to come from your heart. You hear? It has to come from your heart. This is why I said we have to not only forgive, but let that go. Let it go. Or it's going to hover over you for such a long time. It's going to make you sick. Which, by the way, my surgery went well, and I didn't get sick because I was hovering anything. It was something that just popped out. I don't know what it was, okay, but it was there. But it's okay. I handled it like a champion. I knew everything was fine. I felt positive through the whole ordeal, and I didn't feel any pain. So I was like 100% cool, no problem. Okay. But this is the whole thing. Those fears that we have to knock them out, throw them out the window, get rid of them, or they're just going to manifest and turn into something else. So time to forgive. Start looking at things in a different perspective, with a different perspective. And look at other people, even those that you dislike. You know, just erase that, put it out of your system, get it out, okay? Don't manifest it in your system. Get it out. But 2020 is the time for that. It's giving you time to do that between now and January. We're all getting an opportunity to how should I say, make these good energies manifest into beautiful things. No matter how little you have that you think you have, because there's no such thing as having very little. Look, I used to think that myself in the past. And when I started thinking about all my blessings, I said, holy shit, I've got everything in the world, everything I need. I don't need anything else, okay? I don't. And I don't need any of my little trinkets or anything like that. I would be more than happy to give them away. And I am. Because this is how it is. But this new energy that's coming in between now and December, coming in January, is a time for you to let go of shit. I'm talking about if you don't like certain people, okay, granted, that happens. If you don't like certain people, get them out of your sight, of your circle. You don't like certain foods that are making you upset or upset stomach, giving you diarrhea, this and that. Get rid of it. You change your lifestyle. It doesn't have to be expensive, but it is time now to get rid of shit. Get rid of it. No matter what it is or who it is. Get rid of it and don't go back to it. Let it go. My little star seeds, I love you, love you, love you. I did want to say like, share, and subscribe, but I'm going to tell you this. If you don't want to subscribe, shit, don't do it. I'd rather you didn't subscribe. I'm telling you. I say this over and over again. I'd rather just for you to put a a thumbs up. That's it. A like. That's it. No, nothing else. Okay. For those of you that have been loyal and followed my videos in the past and continuing to do so, you know I love you with all my heart. My God, I love you with all my heart. Your loyalty means so much to me, and that's great. That's beautiful. Now, for those of you that are viewing my videos, hell, you're not left behind. No, no, no. Love you too. I want to thank you so much for viewing my videos. Okay, it's no big deal. Thank you so much for viewing them and taking the time to view them. Now, if you feel like putting a dislike, I'm going to tell you. If you want to put a dislike, I'm going to tell you to fuck off. Just get away from the channel, okay? This is for adults only. Get away from the channel. That means that what you have, doing this is immaturity. Immaturity because you do not understand anything that's flowing like the energies, okay? So, you don't, like I said, you don't have to subscribe. I don't need for you to subscribe, okay? But you can like. That's fine. That's good with me. Love you all, you know. And you know also that I deal with feminine energies and masculine energies. You all know that. Okay, so guys, I finished it at one seating. Aren't you happy? You're all going, yay! So anyway, I finished it with one seating. So the next will be the casting, and we're starting with Sagittarius, because if you recall from my video prior to the one I did with the little star, it indicates, and I read off all of the signs, and according to how they're going to be read. So I will be doing a casting runes for each sign, but I will also be bringing bringing on 3 tarot cards. Okay? So it will be a nice little reading. It will be a short reading, but it will be a nice reading. I may have to say more than what is on the reading, I'm sure. Especially now for Sagittarius, because Sagittarius, something good is going to be happening in 2020. Good for that. Well, my beautiful star seeds, thank you so much for being here. Love you guys. Please share. If you need to share it, just share it, okay? Love you guys. Namaste.